where have you got these questions from?
I don't know. They put them out for me.
But you need to get rid of your team.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for being here with us. And if you can tell me your name, age, and where you're from.
So my real name is Michael McGann.
Oh, wow.
But most people only know as Mike Winnett. That was a character I created because I sold my last business. But I am 38 next month, June. And what's the last one? Where I'm from?
Yeah.
Warrington.
What are you working on at this time?
So I've got a small business community that I've been building called Views My Own. That's where I teach people stuff that I did to grow an audience to 200,000, get better results from their marketing and sell more stuff.
And how many hours a week do you work?
I work 9 to 6, 9 to 7.
Oh, wow.
I am the opposite of what these gurus tell you to do. I'm not working 4 hours a week on my phone from the beach.
Yeah.
Shit Wi-Fi for a start.
What's your strengths and weaknesses?
Jesus. Strength, I'm good at anything I put my mind to. Weakness, I can quite easily put myself to bad, disruptive things. So
Yeah.
I can either do very well at something or I can do very badly at something. So
Yeah, it seems like everyone is saying the same thing.
yeah, well, I did 6 months in Ibiza, and let's just say if I stayed there for much longer, I don't think I would have ever come home.
What were you doing in Ibiza?
Do you want a list of the things I did in Ibiza?
Just like the short version.
Lots of things. I came back 2.5 stone lighter, but turns out if you just eat tablets and dance for 8 hours a day, you're not gonna put weight on.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just used to go to different random places and just find jobs. Work there for like 4 months.
And do you have people working for you right now?
Yeah, 10 of us.
And what would you say make you a good leader?
I don't think as a leader I'm very good. Ian, my business partner, he was like management in like a big utilities company, and he's really good with people, really good with HR, really good at being diplomatic and politically correct.
Yeah.
I'm good at doing things. I'm good at getting my head down, working hard. So I'm good at working hard and leading by example. But empathy, compassion, excuses aren't really high on mine.
Yeah, so he deals with the people mostly, and you deal with like the business side of things.
I'm just good at selling stuff or getting attention.
But it is the best partnership, I think.
Yeah, it's like my work life.
Yeah, I have a work life too. And what do you think success means to you, and did it change over time?
So me and Ian both set up our last business, which is the one we ended up selling a business in 2017 for $11 million. Success to us, both myself and Ian, was I just wanted the opportunity and options to do things that I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be able to decide when I worked or when I didn't work, or if I could leave early and pick up the kids, or if I could go somewhere and work from home for like a month. So that was success to me then. Getting money, that was where I think a lot of things started to go wrong, because you lose like that goal, that objective, the thing that you were working for. You actually thought it was going to be a big fanfare and people give a fuck.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I'm occupied, I can occupy my mind with positive things. I'm good at stuff, but when I'm sat there on a Wednesday and I've got nothing to do and none of your friends answer the phone, you can quite easily become crazy. When we sold Learning Heroes, me and Ian were paying ourselves 10 grand a month each. That was after tax, so 10 grand a month was going into our bank account. That was the perfect amount of money for me to feel comfortable. I didn't have to worry about money. At the end of the month, I'd have still like 6 or 7 grand because my expenses didn't increase as my income increased. I'm like proper boring, right? So I loved that, because every sort of 3 or 4 months I could go, I'll put a deposit down on a terrace house in Warrington, or I'll invest in some stocks and shares. That was when I look back and think that was my happiest time. I preferred that to having like 2 million quid just dropped into my bank account, because every month that figure's dropping.
So what do you do with money then? If you have, what would you suggest?
Invest it as quickly as possible so you've not got it anymore.
Yes.
I was applying to work in estate agents within 2 weeks of selling that business. And my idea was, I want to learn about property investing and buying properties and stuff like that. How better to learn than actually doing it as a job? And it was someone phone up and say, I want to sell my house. And I could look and go, how much is that house worth? Oh, I'll buy that. which sounds mad, doesn't it? That someone would do this, but that's how I like to learn. I like to actually do things.
I found this picture here. This book.
Yes.
Can you tell me a story about this? What happened there?
Yeah, that is the book that changed my life.
Oh wow.
So when I was doing my investigating how come everybody's an expert at everything and how come everyone's a bestseller, I did some research and found out there was a way to pretty much guarantee any book gets the #1 on Amazon. So to prove the point, I was going to do a video just to explain the process, but I thought, why tell you when I can show you? So to really take the piss, I designed a book within an hour, did the front cover, and then I wrote blank page on 144 pages, uploaded it to Amazon, and I was an Amazon bestseller within 24 hours. But it did so well that Amazon used the book as the hot new release of the week. It promoted the book as well, and there wasn't anything in the book at all. It was just a full blank pages.
How did you get up to be like #1?
So I just in a post saying I've just released a new book. I called the book How to Get an Amazon Bestseller as well, which I thought was quite ironic. But yeah, and I bought 2 copies myself because I didn't want to skew the results. And I sold 49 copies of that book to become an Amazon bestseller. Someone then got in touch with Amazon to say, you say that you manually check books before they're uploaded. That turns out to be bullshit. So then they banned my book. So if you are one of the lucky 49 people, you've got a genuine limited edition book there that's probably worth more than that.
It's like sometimes I see these posts like life coach of 22-year-olds.
I see this now, right? Yeah. I see people that in lockdown have been working from the kitchen table, right? There's nothing wrong with this. It's a nice kitchen table, by the way. But they're telling you how to, turn your business into 8 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures. They've never run a business. The only business they've had is that one where they're set at the kitchen table. They've never had to hire staff. They've had to deal with HR issues. They've never scaled a business. How can you teach somebody something that you can't even do in your own business? So when you start searching stupid questions like, how can I earn £1 million in 6 months? What content do you think you're going to be searching?
Stupid content, right?
It'll be Chad lying being Lambo telling you that he works 4 hours a week from the beach. But the reality is every business person you look up to, sports person you look up to, anyone that's successful, they probably have hard work, putting in the 10,000 hours like practice and stuff like that is fundamental to their success. So why the fuck does Colin from Coventry, that has worked in accounts for 15 years, think that he can bypass all that, take Chad's dropshipping course and become a millionaire in 12 months? I don't understand that type of mindset.
You went very close to getting into Netflix though, right?
Netflix, I'll tell you this, little sly fucks. So Netflix approached me about potentially doing a series where I'd go to America and I'd be like the Borat of business. So I'd be like straight-faced and I would speak to Americans going to like Grant Cado's 10X conference, but take the piss out of them a little bit. So like, how many of these events have you been to? 6. Or how come you've not 10X anything yet?
Yeah.
It's sort of like straight-faced British, funny man.
Funny
Call yourself funny?
Funny man, yeah. With a bum chin.
Right. But I didn't want to go to America for 6 weeks. So then they said to me, would you like to do your Entrepreneur Formula video, which was like my video that kind of banged originally on YouTube. So I did 3 hours of filmed, recorded interviews with them. And then we got the studio ready and they were meant to be flying in and recording with us on the Monday. Then on the Saturday, they sent me an email saying, sorry, we've had to do a change of direction on this. Legal have spoke to us, we're not going to be able to do that episode anymore. Fast forward 9 months and they pretty much have made that video using content that I had used, because I'd signed all the paperwork to allow them to use my ideas, some of my words, some of my IP, some of my content. They literally just lifted my Entrepreneur Formula video, cut me out of it, and replicated it, and it's on Netflix as Money Explained. That's on there now.
Money Explained, that's what I saw.
If you watch right at the end, and hopefully you don't get the 2 suggested videos up, at the end, you can just see my name on screen for like 1 second saying special thanks.
Same as CoffeeZilla, right?
Yeah, same thing.
Did the same thing to him.
So CoffeeZilla, so our name is Stephen. So when I spoke to Stephen, I didn't know that the same thing had happened to him. So it's, if 2 people have got the exact same story about the same thing, then it's probably true, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Gary V. I don't know if you know Gary V. But
no, I don't.
Yeah, he originally said that we were going to work with Netflix together. He's a weird bloke. But.
Yeah, a mixed opinion about Gary.
Gary V. Good guy or bad guy? If you had to pick one.
Good guy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard.
But that's normal, right? This is what I don't get about the internet, especially my channel. my audience can't seem to see. They want to know if someone's a good guy or a bad guy all the time. It's like you can be both. You can be a shitty person, but sometimes gives good advice. Sometimes you can be a good person, sometimes give the wrong advice. You know, it's not, you don't have to be one of the things forever. And that was part of the reason why I took a break from YouTube.
What do you think of the buff? What do you think of this guy actually in the picture?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Just egotistical,
Yes.
crazy,
Yes.
and petty.
What do you think should be the guy in the box if we have to change it?
What? So who I think is a real good entrepreneur?
Do you think he's not a good entrepreneur?
He's got himself to that level where even if he royally fucked up, he's still sound. And he can kind of get away with doing anything he wants or anything puts his name to, he's going to do quite well. So is he a good entrepreneur? Like, if you measure success by how much money you make, he's done quite well, isn't he?
Yeah.
So who would be on that box?
Definitely not Gary Vee. Well, we established that. Have you invested in crypto?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I've spent 30 grand on crypto mining rigs because some guru told me that. His actual line was, I look back now and I kick myself. He goes, why own a racehorse when you can own the track? So whatever horse wins.
Of course, makes sense.
It makes sense, right? But you've still got to fucking pick a horse. Because you can only mine one coin per machine. So so you are still gambling on a horse. So I could have a machine here that mines loon, shit example.
Yeah.
That's gone tits up. Or raven. But then
of course.
if Ether does well, what fucking difference does that make to me? So I should have just put that 30 grand straight into Ether. Weird one. If I put my money into put my money into Bitcoin, that when I sold the business for, I'd be sat on 26 million now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But instead now I set up a business and I make shit videos for people.
Actually, if I had to give you like £40,000 a day, right, and you would start the business or start something.
I don't know. I'd probably just hire a videographer and just like get them to film you from whatever it is that you did from day zero. I think a lot of people want, and I'd go like, come on, we're actually gonna create a business now from scratch and just go.
Kind of like the Apprentice type of thing. Or...
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
kind of.
You start with an idea and you show out.
But the Apprentice has become like a joke, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And also, by the way, if you've got a really good idea, why the fuck do you need to go on the Apprentice to split it with Alan Sugar? You don't. So it's one of them, isn't it? It's like going to Dragon's Den. That to me makes more sense. You're going to Dragon's Den to get more attention. Even if you don't get off the dragons, you could then get people that are interested in your product or whatever, or other investors.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's such a boring question.
Yeah, it's fine. Where have you got these questions from?
I don't know. They put them out for me.
Okay, but you need to get rid of your team. So where do I see myself in 5 years? I don't know, like Iron Productions is running itself without me, which is pretty cool. It's the first time I've had a business like that. So I'd like to be relaxing and only going into businesses for like a couple of days in the month and maybe have like 4 or 5 different businesses in a sort of group that I sort of own. But I've got like actual MDs in each business I'm running it and I sort of do that. That's where I'd like to be. Whether I could do that in 5 years, I don't know.
There is a maze here, and if you can draw,
Yeah.
if you can find the.
Right, so the biggest thing I preach, the reason why I sold the business is I wrote down a figure, £10 million and a date that I'm going to sell the business by. Backwards planning is the key, so I'm going to work backwards from. I'm just going to go for it. Oh no, I'm going to dead end thinking. Yeah, you can do this, Eddie.
Let me know.
Fuck you, Eddie. You know? Did it.
Maybe.
Check the links in the description to learn more about Pop-Up. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
So, how do you think it went overall?
That's the best interview I've done today.
Yeah? And how many have you got later on?
None. Sorry.
And could you see yourself working here full time?
Part-time. I do part-time. I need to leave early to pick the kids up some days. So.
Oh yeah?
But, yeah.
And what did you think of Matteo?
Good. Interesting character, isn't he? Yeah. Do you know what I'll actually say is actually nicer in person than he comes across online.
Yeah.
A little. That's a backhanded compliment, that's all, by the way.
Brilliant. Well, I think it went well.
Cheers, thanks so much.